Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. This is a Posh at Work presentation of legal insights on important issues surrounding sexual harassment and related matters. Posh at Work is a boutique firm which assists organizations across sectors in complying with the law against sexual harassment at workplace and related matters pan-India. I am Veda and this is my colleague Avika. Now, before starting, we would like to inform you that the links of the research papers that we have referred to are in the description of this video. Now, some of you may or may not have heard about this term called stealthing. We would like to make an effort to shed some light on the same. Now, research shows that this is a rampant practice. However, as we know, it is seldom spoken about in public discourse. So now, Avika, do tell us what exactly is this practice of stealthing and where did this term stealthing really come from?
So, Veda, the word stealth actually means a cautious, unobtrusive, and secretive way of moving or proceeding intended to avoid detection, as spoken about in the Merriam Webster dictionary. This is exactly from where the word stealthing comes from. Now, what is this term stealthing? It is an act of one partner not abiding by the other partner's condition of using protection during sexual intercourse. This is an act which is done in a very covert manner. Now, NCCR, which is non-consensual condom removal, is the commonly used term to refer to stealthing.
So when you say abide by a condition, do you mean that there has to be an agreement about wearing protection from beforehand?
Yes, there is an agreement at first between the partners to use protection. But before or after the intercourse begins, if the partner wearing protection secretly takes it off, then this act is called stealthing.
That sounds a lot like breaking a promise. I mean, is that how victims feel and did the research cover any of that?
Like you had mentioned before, that stealthing is a rampant practice, and research shows that persons that were stealthed with felt very violated and felt like their trust had been broken. In fact, a lot of times they were unable to describe what they felt like after having experienced the act of stealthing.
So, Avika, tell us what exactly does stealthing look like in today's relationships?
While stealthing has been called a practice or a sexual trend or a form of sexual assault, even, what lies at the heart of it is simply how consent is understood in these relationships. Now, this understanding sets the tone of the sexual interactions between the two partners.
You use the word consent. Can you elaborate a little bit on how consent would work in an act like stealthing?
Sure. So, when a couple decides or one partner indicates that they will have sex only if they are using protection, saying yes to such intercourse then becomes conditional. Now, if the condition is not adhered to, that yes does not hold any value. Thereafter, conditional consent becomes vitiated. Now, let me explain what is vitiation of consent. That is, the consent which was conditionally given does not hold its true meaning or its true value. And when one partner covertly removes protection before or during sexual intercourse, it is known as vitiation of conditional consent.
Okay, got it. Can you maybe give us an everyday metaphor to understand stealthing a bit better?
Sure. We can compare stealthing to something as relatable as the act of being served food. Now, imagine a scenario that you are with your friends and your friends offers to cook you a meal. You explicitly mention your preference for vegetarian food and the person agrees. However, while or after eating, you realize that you were deliberately served non-vegetarian food despite of you having put out your preferences very explicitly. How do you think that would make you feel?
I think it would make me feel violated, have feelings of mistrust and maybe disrespect.
Now, these feelings are very close to that of a person who has been stealthed with. However, this could vary depending on the intensities of the act.
Right. Savika, tell us what happens once stealthing takes place.
There could be a lot of consequences of stealthing. Unwanted pregnancies, spread of STIs are usually considered as huge risks of NCCR. Consequences also include psychological harm, like feeling traumatized and triggered either before, during, or after their current or future sexual activities.